All right, guys, so we're just going to get straight into it. So, what I liked about living in LA. So, I lived in LA, bear in mind, between 2016 to 2018. So, that was a good few years ago. So, obviously, things have probably changed now, especially post COVID. Like, I haven't been there post COVID. Like, I think the last time I went there was 2019. So, I don't know how it is like post COVID. I don't know if, like, I just don't know. So just bear that in mind. So, number one reason I like the career benefits. So, because I'm a film director, filmmaker, and I do directing, producing, editing, it was just such a great place for me to be career wise. Obviously, like around the time as well, it was a booming scene. A lot of people moved over there from different states, different countries. The masters that I did was in a school full of literally foreigners. Like there was probably like one or two Americans in my class, which is crazy. It's really, really wild. But basically, yeah, it was like a hub where everyone was, there trying to reach or attain a dream, and it was just perfect for my industry. I met a lot of people, made a lot of connects, people that I'm still friends with today, people that I met whilst I was shooting, worked with, that today, like, I'm still cool with them, or I can still hit them up. And it's crazy because literally as the years go on, you just realize like everyone evolves as well. Like people evolve, you evolve, people around you evolve. People are into different things now, or people are still in the same industry, but they've hit a sweet spot where they've gone. So like I did a pilot out there for a series that I was trying to get off the ground at the time, and I remember an actor being part of my pilot who now today is essentially in like All American, and he's one of the main guys. So it's just so funny how that works. Like, do you know what I mean? And funny enough, he still has the same number. He still has the same number as he did when I knew him, and he was in my pilot essentially. So yeah, just stuff like that is a very common occurrence in Los Angeles. You bump into people that are producers, actors, writers, film scorers, you know what I'm saying? Like you bump into people within these disciplines that surround the entertainment and film industry and TV. So it was just really good for me at the time. So, and that was the main reason why I wanted to be there and go. I didn't really want to do a master's. It was actually because the master's allowed me to live there and be in the atmosphere I wanted to be in. So I said, okay, cool, I'll just do that to be there and get a visa to like, be around. So that's literally the reason why I ended up doing the master's, because it just allowed me to be in the environment I wanted to be in. So yeah, I am reading from my little notebook, so bear with me. Opportunities. So I think it just kind of ties in for me with career benefits, the opportunities to be able to collab with a lot of different filmmakers, and everyone there was like hungry, like they wanted to get things off the ground, they wanted to get shit going and moving. So because of that hunger, it also allowed me to meet more like-minded people that may not share the exact same vision as me, but share a vision to evolve and want to be able to just explode in whatever industry they were in. So like this crossed over with musicians, because I did music videos as well. I directed music videos, shorts, pilots, teasers, narrative, promotional videos, like literally anything I could get my hands on, I was doing it. So I think that was one great thing, that opportunities were quite wide and big. And because I was on a student visa and it rolled over and allowed me to work out there for a little bit of time, I had to make sure that I was working within my discipline and what I came out there to study. So I couldn't just go and get a job at like Starbucks and be a barista, or just do like an admin in an office. The weather, yeah, the weather was just so like, it was just so good. Like I'm a winter baby, as in like I was born in a winter month, but I'm a summer baby at heart. Like I love the sun. I love being in the sun. Like I prefer warm over cold. That's just me. I know everyone else has their own, yeah, whatever. But me, I prefer to be warm. I prefer to be hot, and then I can cool myself down if I need to. And LA just had the best weather like all year round. Obviously, you get periods of time where it got a bit colder than, like certain months. But overall, like you're never going to get something below like, I don't know, like 15. Obviously, early morning, it might be like, then it starts building up again. But essentially, it just was never really cold like that at all. It's a sunny state. So the weather was amazing for me. The people, I would say that I met a lot of different interesting people, and I know everyone's gonna have something to say when it comes to the people, because yeah, there's I met interesting groups of people. I met really weird people, really cool people that traveled from different states, different countries. So I met people that obviously weren't LA natives. I also met LA natives. So you just meet a variety of different people. And I think what's cool about LA is that there's so many people that come there to basically like live out their dream, and just build something, make a name for themselves. So you tend to find people as well that are quite like-minded in wanting, that vision for themselves, which is the good part about it. So I'm just going to focus on the good stuff in this little section, because I'm going to do cons afterwards. So I don't want to hear it. And I would say the next thing is I enjoyed the food. I say that it sounds like I didn't, but no, I enjoyed the food. I think there was good options. And also like I think the best food I enjoyed out there in LA was Mexican food. I wasn't really a fan of Mexican food before I moved to LA, and that's just because I didn't really have Mexican food like that, sorry. And when I tasted authentic Mexican food off them food trucks on the corner, oh my goodness, like it's a game changer. Like honestly, it's a game changer, because I was there thinking, Chipotle was cool and like stuff like that, and it's like, nah, this is just a whole different level. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole different, no disrespect to Chipotle, because Chipotle is cool, but like just a whole different level. Like, so I literally felt like this is probably what it would be like in Mexico if I was eating in Mexico. Like it just tasted so good, and it's so authentic. So I really love the Mexican food out there, and I think that's probably like the biggest thing I would say about food, because that was my best go-to, because as I said, it was so good. But it's the next one, right? Hair and hair products. So what I've written here is that basically my hair during LA times, oh my gosh, my hair was just flourishing. I feel like I'm just gonna, if I don't insert it, it is what it is, guys, but I want to insert here essentially like how my hair was just flourishing in that time. And I think it was a mixture of the sun, the water, and then there was this hair product that I was using called a Mama's Mud Whip. Guys, Mama's Mud Whip. Please pay attention. This is a shop in Inglewood called Mama Sunshine Treasures. This whip, it changed the game for me. It changed the game. And the thing is, in the ingredients, she doesn't put water in the ingredients. Mic drop. There's no water in the ingredients, right? But it's like a mousse. And what happens is it actually allowed my hair not to shrink. Because right now, for example, my hair is like, this is shrink. Like if I pull it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just, it shrinks, right? With this product, my hair literally stretched out and it was still curly and stuff. Like it just allowed it. Oh, it was just so good for my hair. Like I don't even, Sorry, every time I think about this, I get like emotional because it was such a good product. It was such a good product. Anyway, essentially, it was really good for my hair, and I think the combination of the sun and the water just really did wonders for my hair. And I was in a period of time where I transitioned whilst I was living out in LA. So in 2015, that's when I kind of like started my transitioning process, and by 2016, like I had, you know, cut off the ends, and it was like just all my natural hair. So yeah, it was a good hair time. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a great hair time in LA. Um, and then I think that's the last thing I put in terms of just like what I liked. So versus the cons, and as I said, guys, the last time I lived out there was 2016 to 2018. So, you know, things could have changed by now, even with the benefits, right? But I think overall, no, certain things don't change with the benefits. Like, come on, yeah. I just thought about it. I was like, no, not really. But yeah, the cons, this could have changed, right? So one or two things I might mention on the cons list. So I put here like the diversity of people. So I think around the time I went, it felt like it was like, I could see the Mexican population, and there's like a lot of like Spanish speaking people. And then aside from that, it was like, all right, cool. And then you have like the LA people from different states. Like, oh yeah, you might meet someone from Houston, whatever. But then I felt like, especially for me as an African, right? As in like, I'm African, I'm British, I'm Ghanaian, right? Specifically, it felt like I didn't really bump into a lot of people like myself, who like was from another country, other than like, as I said, like Mexico and Spanish speaking kind of disciplined countries. So for me, I didn't really get that experience. It was more so I met LA natives, I met people from different states in America. And then the only time that I had the diversity that I kind of like, I guess, used to, especially from like London, being a Londoner, was when I was in school, because there was Chinese people in my class, someone from Kazakhstan, so random, a Russian girl, a guy from the Dominican Republic. So the diversity that I got was within, like, when I was studying and when I was like doing my masters. However, outside of that, outside of the school buildings, I just really didn't feel like it was really that diverse in that sense. And it's coming from, as I said, I'm a Londoner, so like, you go to East London, you're gonna catch your Bengalis, you're gonna catch your Pakistanis, you're gonna catch your flipping Nigerians, mostly in South. We all know about that. You're gonna catch your Ghanaians in flipping North. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna catch your Jews up in Stamford Hill. Like, so you just know, like, there's a mixture of people everywhere. Like, you got Chinese, you got Spanish speaking people from Spain, Portugal. Like, you got a mixture of people out here in London. And maybe it's just the places that I came across, but I think also it was very much the time. I think now it's probably going to be different, because it's, you know, however many years ago that was, and things have evolved now. And even when I was living there and I was like around time that I left, I heard them play Michael Dapper in the club, a Big Mike. I heard them play an Afrobeat song one time in the club. I was like, oh my gosh, they're playing Afrobeats. So like, that was like a crazy thing. Unless you go to like an Afrobeats party or Caribbean party or a party specifically, I didn't go out to like a normal club in LA or wherever and just hear Afrobeats at the time. But when I was leaving, I felt like Afrobeat started to do this transition process where people considered it now a little bit more mainstream, you know, with Wizkid doing his thing, Thames, Burna Boy. I think a lot more people know about it now. So you're probably going to catch more of that music out in the mainstream places now. But at the time, that was just one big thing that I was like, right, okay, cool. So the people I put, again, cons and pros. And I think that just kind of links into not just the diversity, but just the flipping weirdos there. Sometimes you bump into weirdos everywhere. But Hollywood, and specifically, they do say that thing Hollywood. It's a thing, like, and especially people that associate themselves with the industry, you just come across a lot of loose cannons here and there, and it's like, are you who you say you are? Are we sure about this? Like, so I'm just gonna throw that out, and I'm not gonna make a big thing about it, because as I said, like, everywhere you go, you know, you're gonna have its different set of things. But yeah, that was one thing that I had to just kind of adjust to. But okay, so I guess people are not batting an eye, so this is normal. The cost of living, guys, that is one big con. Like, it is so expensive. And I don't even know how it is now, because if then it was expensive, you only know with inflation and the economy, the crisis, and flipping Trump is in government now. It's like, again, can you imagine? It's like, what happened? But yeah, so cost-wise, LA is an expensive place to live. Think about rent, food. Like, the reason I didn't eat out as much as well, even though I did eat out a few times, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not saying, yeah, I did. But one thing I tried to do was buy food and cook it, because it was just so expensive. And honestly, like, as a student, as I was living there, it's like, you know, money's tight. So that was one thing, like, the cost is crazy. And I think you just have to be wise to, like, choose your outings, because most of the time what's draining the money is probably like transportation and food. And I say this because, like, if you don't have a car out there as well, guys, that's another thing. That's another con. If you don't have a car, you're going to struggle, because you're going to spend a lot of money in Uber and Lyft. And you just can't walk everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not that kind of place. So I would suggest, I ended up getting a car, to be honest, but I would suggest, like, yeah, that is one thing, transportation. And I know they have, like, the subway and stuff, but it's not the same as, like, London or New York. Like, it's just, it's from one end to the other, really, you know what I'm saying? And then it's, yeah. But I would also think about, I guess, just generally, like, if you was to go there, like, where you're staying and how close you are to the metro or subway and all these things. But yeah, that is also one definite con, like, the cost and the travel. But yeah, guys, I said I was trying to keep it brief, and it's already, look at the time on the video. All right, so I'm done here, right? I'm gonna drop another video, and I'm just gonna give you some insight into when I was in Ghana. So that will be my next video. Okay, guys, bye, take care, ciao, bellas, bye. Mwah, mwah.